mathematicians. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to measure an angle. We know that angles are made of rays that meet at a vertex. So on the picture I have before you, we have lots of angles pictured, but B is the vertex. That's where all the rays meet. And to measure angles, we have to use a tool called a protractor. In fourth grade, your questions will have a protractor on top or right underneath the angle so that you can tell the measurement. However, sometimes the angles will not line up with zero. Since there are several angles on our paper today, I wanted to show you the different types of angles. For instance, if I wanted to measure angle C, B, F, it's quite easy because C, ray C, is actually lined up on zero. And what we're measuring is this opening from C to F. Now the protractor is already lined up for us on zero, so I can say that this started at zero and it goes all the way to 40. Fairly simple because we don't have to really decide how much the gap is. We can just look at the protractor. Now I'm not going to say that it is 140 because that started at 180, and we would have to subtract 180 minus 140 to see that it is indeed 40. The other thing is you can use your common sense because most of you already know that acute angles are less than 90, and you can tell how small and how cute this angle is. We can also use an index card or a sticky note just to line up to make sure we know that it's less than 90. Most of you could tell by using your eyes, but you see how it lines up here, but it's completely underneath the piece of paper or the corner square. See, the corner square would be CBE. So CBE is a 90-degree angle. And if I remove this, you can see that the ray of E is right over 90. So from 0 all the way to 90 is a right angle. What if I wanted to measure angle FBE? Now, in this case, FBE does not start at 0. It actually starts at 40 and it ends at 90. So I can subtract 90 minus 40, and then I know this angle right here is 50 because 90 minus 40 is 50. What if I wanted to use the inside scale? I could. I see that this is on 140 and this is on 90, so I could say 140 minus 90, and that still equals 50. Just make sure that if you're using the outer scale, you use both numbers from the outer scale. It just so happens that 90's on both scales. And then if you're using the inner scale, that you use both numbers from the inner scale. So I would like to talk about angle A, B, D. Now, angle A, B, D starts on 0. So you can see that I can use the inner scale and I can just follow along on the protractor and it ends at 50. I can tell by using my sight that this is an acute angle, something that is smaller than 90 degrees. If I wanted to use the outer scale, since it does not start on 0, then I would have to say 180 minus 130, and you would get 50. Let's try another type of angle. Let's say that I want to have the measurement of angle FBD. Well, neither of my rays are on 0. So if I use the top scale, I can actually subtract 130 minus 40 and I would get 90. If I put my corner square inside, I can tell that it is exactly 90 degrees. If I chose to use the inner scale, I could do 140, I could take 140 and find the difference of 140 and 50. That's subtraction. 140 minus 50 is 90. So either scale works, it's just I can't use one number from the top scale and one number from the inside scale. That won't work. So make sure that if you pick the top scale, you use both numbers from the top scale, or if you choose to use the inner scale, that you use both numbers from the inner scale. Now, measuring with a protractor, these are little degree marks. If it happened that our ray was in between, like maybe here, then I would actually have to count over. If it started at 0 and it stopped here, then I would have to count 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, or 36, depending on where it is. So these little marks are equal to 1 degree. So be very careful when measuring an angle. I would suggest that you look at the angle first. If you're going for a certain angle, you may even choose to use your pencil to outline it so that you pay attention to only that angle after you've read in the question which angle they want. I would suggest that you decide if it's acute, because if it's acute, your numbers are going to be less than 90. Your answer, anyways, will be less than 90. If it's right, it's going to be exactly 90. And if it's obtuse, it's going to be more than 90. That helps you to get into the correct section of numbers so that you don't pick something that's really, really large and it's actually a small angle. So happy measuring.